But as we get into the last week of December, last few weeks, we like to talk about like goal setting and all that stuff.
Fallon Taylor,
little lady with a great challenge in front of her. This is Flo.
BABYFLO. She wins the world championship. And the winner's circle for that cowgirl.
Fallon Taylor will win.
She's riding a new horse, Oliver Champion Flo.
One of the babies for BABYFLO.
Low to the flow.
Hush money. Hush money.
What's up, Flomies? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, today we're gonna walk you guys through, I'm gonna strip some tails. Now, this is Strut, first of all, and we have not given him enough time on the vlog simply because he wasn't raised here. I actually purchased him. He is a 3-year-old owned son of the Goodbye Lane, trained by Danielle Campbell, NFR qualifier. And I wanted him to be part of our futurity/rodeo program. So I purchased this guy. He is a massive 3-year-old, and he is a big furry teddy bear because the majority of horses now at Mega Ranch are turned out. That's including Hush Money. Like, BABYFLO's inside, Flowbot's inside only because he tore a fence down. Lolo's inside because she's a beast and tries to eat everybody. But other than that, everybody else is outside. So my horses this winter look a lot furrier than in winters past because just the digestion system and their health and their ability to like walk around and move their joints. It's just so great to have everybody out. Now we did do, and I'll show you guys this. Here, come with me. We did do runs on the outside of everybody's pens. Those just got completed this week. And that is for the horses that we keep up in the stalls on the days they don't go out in their own pasture. Every single day they will be in these gorgeous runs. The only problem with the runs is that it's super hella muddy today and for the last several days. So we don't want the very first encounter with the runs for them to like buck and run and play and it be slick and somebody get in a jam. So I'm gonna do one of my favorite things ever, and that is strip tails. And I haven't done this in forever, but I'm exploring a new version of myself for 2023. And I know we're not quite to 2023, but as we get into the last week of December, last few weeks, we like to talk about like goal setting and all that stuff. So we're gonna just chit chat. We're gonna do like a get this tail ready with me as we talk about goals. I feel like I've been doing my goal sheets all wrong. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing different, but we're gonna strip a tail. What is stripping a tail, you might ask? Well, when you have a horse like Strut that he's just the dirtiest guy. Like, he's just Pigpen. Like, he's the dirtiest horse ever. His tail is really disgusting, and I try to keep it in a tail bag to keep it really nice because he is Palomino. If he were Sorrel or Bay, you probably wouldn't tell as much, but his tail looks disgusting. So what we're gonna do is do my little formula for tail stripping, which means just getting it as white as possible. I don't use, let me rephrase it. I do my best to not use products on my horses that have artificial fragrance or phthalates or other stuff like that. Do your research. If it's not good for you as a human, it's probably not super great for your horses. So we're gonna use things that are hippy dippy. You can do this with products like Dawn dish soap and bleach and other things, but these are the products that I use, so we're gonna use these products. It's cold outside, I'm using warm water. It's not Canada cold, okay? It's just kind of cold. So I'm just gonna do his tail today. I'm gonna leave the rest alone, and I'm gonna show you how I do this. The things I'm using, just in case you wanted to know. Molly Suds dish soap in place of like a Dawn. A tactical tail bag, which is really cute. Molly Suds Oxygen White in place of like an OxyClean type product. And then apple cider. And then a plastic bag. A grocery sack works even better, but this is what I had laying around, so this is what I'm gonna use. Now go ahead and get my bucket ready. I'm gonna use warm water just because we have the ability to have that here at Mega Ranch. I'm gonna use a dab of vinegar. Two scoops of my hippie OxyClean, basically. All of this stuff is available on Amazon, by the way. And yes, this is what we use in our house. And then another little dab of dish soap. So So his tail is already braided. I'm gonna unbraid it and then do stuff and things. So let's talk about the real reason that we're here, and that is because I feel like I've been doing my goal sheets all wrong. And what I mean by that is I have been doing my goal sheets from the perspective of like what I expect, what I want to accomplish, writing a goal sheet down of like, I want XYZ thing to happen. I want to win this. I want to buy that. I want to live here. I want to drive that. And instead, I want to tell you guys how I met Alex. And I think I'm going to reverse engineer this year. And I'm going to tell you, like, I did a little ditty on TikTok about this, but I'm going to tell you how specifically I did this. When I met Alex, I made a wish list of what I wanted my dream guy to be like. And as I was like halfway through writing that list, I was like, oh my gosh, I bet he has a very specific, this guy I'm writing about, I'm sure has a very specific wish list for himself. And I don't think I meet her criteria. I wanted him to really care about his health and his credit score. And I wanted him to be able to travel and do all sorts of really unique things and be able to not be a people pleaser, but, you know, really defend the person that he loves, etc., etc. But I basically kind of didn't take into account that he probably had really specific goals and needs that he wanted from his partner. So instead of trying to pursue him or any other goal, I decided to pursue her. And that is the person that I thought that kind of a guy would want to be with. I figured out very quickly that that girl was not me. The girl that would also prioritize her health, the girl that also wasn't a people pleaser, the girl that knew how to say no, and the girl that prioritized a lot of her own things in front of other people's. And I realized maybe I needed to pursue her, me, in that way instead of trying to pursue someone else that would help fulfill me. So I started to do that and my life drastically changed. If you guys have followed me for a long time, you know in 2017 I got in the shape of my life. I went to do bikini shows and I did all sorts of things, and that was really cool. But the more I started to worry about her and not him, the more that my life began to rapidly change, and I made really great decisions, and I've continued to do so. I mean, I'm not doing bad, but I know I can do even better. There's not a level where I feel like we should get complacent. But this year especially, and maybe it's motherhood that has made me just want to reach a little further and do a little better. But now I'm thinking like, who do I want to be in this next chapter of my life? Who do I want to embody? I have written down her, like who she is, what she does with her time, how she treats people, how she treats her business. And here's the thing, it's great to write a goal sheet and like kind of think about those things, but it's even better to write a letter to yourself that's retrospective. Fallon Taylor had such an amazing 2023. She accomplished blah, blah, blah. Her friends did da, da, da. Her son, her husband, she as a wife accomplished XYZ, and write that letter to yourself as if it had already happened, and then start to make a list around what you need to prioritize to make that come true. So kind of like life scripting, and also like creating an avatar. I like to say avatar. I even have named my avatar. I'm not going to tell you her name, but my avatar has a name. And what's funny is like the more specific you get on your avatar, ironically my favorite movie, the more specific you get on your avatar, like how does she take care of her hair? How does she wake up in the morning? What's her morning routine? The more you see your life drastically shift. For instance, my avatar wears a different perfume than I wear. I know that sounds really weird, but that's how you step into the person you want to be. Fulfilling like goals and making sure those goals are accomplished, that's really cool, but it only lasts for so long. And then you're just like, okay, I did that, so now what? But it's who you become along the way that really changes who you are and how people treat you. How you treat yourself is really, really indicative of how other people treat you. So I have said for a long time that you should spend 30% of your time, I read this in a book, this isn't my idea, but a mentor told me this somewhere along the way, that you should spend 30% of the time with people that are on your level, 30% of your time with people that are way above your level that would like be embarrassed to live your life. 30% of your time with people way below your level so that you can feel a sense of superiority and at the same time be a mentor and teacher to those people. And 10% of your time just chilling with yourself. So I decided to make friends with the person that would be embarrassed at my accomplishments. I realize that I'm being very dramatic about this, but that's just how goals work. So don't take it too seriously. But I want to spend some time with somebody that would be like, oh, you did that? You accomplished that? How cute. And just kind of look at my goals from that perspective of like somebody seeing all the things I've been able to do thus far and go, oh, that's cute. That's what I did Thursday, you know, or vibes like that. So my avatar has various goals that are really amazing. And also, she gets like manicures, her nails are done. She wears a very bougie perfume, and her get ready morning routine is simple yet effective and allows her to just carry on about her day and interact with her business a little bit quicker. So yeah, that's what I've been busy doing. Okay, non-goal info is that this tailbone is where all your new growth comes in, and that vinegar gets down and you scratch it with your freshly manicured nails. That tailbone, it'll help wake up those hair follicles all along that bone. When we braid it, make sure to not include that bone in the braid because you want it to have a whole lot of life. Jesus, Fallon. Do you guys see that? All the brown
I did.
coming out of the tail? Gross. And this is like a freshly washed tail too. Things you can do in addition to this, everybody knows, most everybody knows, purple shampoo does really, really well to like tone this out. Also, you can do ketchup. A lot of people use ketchup in their horse's tail. You can look that up just about anywhere. This is not my favorite conditioner, but it's here. Again, I would rather have things that don't have any fragrance. Because if I'm using it on my horse, it goes on my skin too, unless I'm using gloves. So after struggling to get pregnant, I pay attention to a lot of things that other people kind of maybe overlook. But look into it, fragrances, check it out. So I'm just gonna rinse that out really quickly. So the things that we put on our horse's tail every day that we think is really great for them can create a lot of waxy buildup. So it's better to just leave them alone and wrap them up in your tactical tail bag and just let it grow than to constantly pick at it. Now the great debate is, do we brush it wet or dry? I like to brush my tails wet. So it's pretty detangled, it looks pretty good. I got almost all of the stuff out of the tail. I could have, again, if I used more harsh products, I could have gotten it a little whiter, but I'm here for my horses to have a good time and a long time. So I'm gonna start at the bottom. When you do your goal sheet, you gotta make sure that you are not just doing a reality goal sheet, like what you think you can accomplish, but also you don't think about how. Like never think about how you can accomplish it, because that'll make you really, really limited. You need help kind of getting out of your own limited mindset. Act like I just gave you $100 million. I've said this so many times I'm blue in the face, but every year I have to remind myself, so I might as well remind you too, right? We're in this together. That is, if you had $100 million, what would you do with it? You had to spend it all on yourself. You couldn't give it away. What is it that you would buy or do with that money? And then write that down. And that's your fantasy list. Most people that I have run into with this issue is they don't want much. Like even given the option to spend $100 million, those same people aren't buying like yachts and stuff. Like all the people that I know, they still just want to pay off their credit cards, get a great credit score, build a home, have some in savings. You know, they don't want crazy stuff. So, you know, we're all in this together. So that will help you get over your limiting belief. The other thing is use a pen and paper, old school pen and paper. It matters. Like 53% of people that write their goals down, I believe that's the stat, you can Google it. 53% of people that write it down actually accomplish their goals simply because they took the time to write it down and not just daydream. Getting specific has been the determining factor to get me where I am here, meaning that not just specific about like, I want to do well this year, or I want to lose weight, or I want to get in shape, or I want to be strong. None of those things have ever served me. What has served me is if I wanted to move somewhere, look on Zillow, find the place, make it my screensaver, see how much money it would cost to actually move into said place. What would the down payment be like? If I want to pay off my credit card debt, write down all of the numbers of how much that credit card debt is. Like, look at your statements, look at it, write it down. If you are super young and you just want to look at the next 5 years, I think that helps too, by just looking at the next 5 years and seeing like, what kind of friends do you have? What would you guys do in your days off of school? What would you consider fun? And the people that don't live up to the expectations that you have for the next 5 years of your life, it'll be really easy for you to tell them, no, sorry, I don't have time for you. By the way, I mentioned Goodbye Lane on Strut, but didn't mention that his mom is like a producer of over $100,000 in fraternity winners. So really big deal. Danielle went to the right barrel first on him. I go to the left. She found little spots that were a little bit tough for her to get through. I found those same spots. And now me and this guy are a team. I have kind of changed up my program in that if I feel like a horse isn't going to get along with me or me along with them in long term, I move them very quickly. Like I find a new home for them with somebody that's really, really awesome and get them in a new home, because I realize that as part of writing my goal sheet, I want Dynasty Equine to be a really big deal. I want my mares to be big producers. And if it's just up to me to season all these colts and be the person that gets all the winnings on them, there's a lot of colts that aren't going to get a chance because I need to be 10 people to make that happen. So I've started to let a lot more of them go to really appropriate homes so that I can watch them win a lot more. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to loop this through. Not because his tail is extra long, but just because it makes it a little bit easier. So I just made a little hole right there and I tuck it through. Giving a horse like this extra attention, it allows he and I to like bond. So that's why I've kind of taken on like wanting to do specific things for him. And also I'm going to move my red light. You guys should Google ATP therapy also. I'm going to move my red light down here for when I do saddling and things like this so I can shine it on them just like we do in at the other ranch. These tail bags are a lifesaver, and that way I can keep it cleaner for just a little bit longer. I just think it's going to be really cute. And I want to like bond with him. So cleaning his stall, blanketing, all of those things that he and I can have a little extra time outside of the arena to do, I feel like just really builds the relationship. So I'm excited for his future. If it feels like I'm not going to be the best jockey for him, I'm going to sell him. If it feels like I'm the perfect jockey, which it feels like right now, I'm going to keep him and campaign him at the futurities. So I'm really, really excited about this colt, and he's big. He's big and he's yellow, so he's something, not that yellow has been completely different for us in the last couple of years, but it's cool to have one that wasn't raised here just to feel so that I know what I want to add to my breeding program later. I did have a breeding to BABYFLO and the Goodbye Lane for last year, and we just simply didn't get around to that one taking, so we're going to try again this year, and we're really excited about that. I know we've been all over the place for this vlog, but I'm really, really pumped about you writing down your goal sheet from the perspective of who you want to be, the character that you want to build on your journey, and writing about her or him from that perspective, and not just the stuff and things that you want to buy or you want to accomplish, because I find that that's going to be a lot more fulfilling. I hope that you guys absolutely love this vlog. I'm going to put Strut away for the night, but also we're gonna do some major organizing of the barn and the tack room in the next couple of days. I'd love for you guys to come with us because, I don't know, a little ASMR tack moment. We have a lot of tack. I own a tack line, so obviously, like, I don't want to be spoiled brat about the tack, but I do take one of everything just to make sure we can show you guys what it's like. And I'm going to get it all organized so that it's easier for us to get on the road and maybe give you some ideas of how to pack your truck and trailer. That's it for tonight, you guys. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to be subscribed and ding that notification bell. As always, don't forget to count your blessings, drink your protein, and say thank you to Jesus. See you next time. You want to wave? Hi, Mojo. Hi, Mojo.